video is about an incident in Butler, Pennsylvania. A farm show rally for Donald Trump. At the moment he looks to the right, and yes, this is from a video off of YouTube, and this is the exact moment right before he flinched. Human beings react in about a tenth of a second or a little longer as you get older, so that's very likely the exact moment. He's looking to the right. This is the only reason we're able to have a conversation and be a little less grim about it. Because he turned to the right and was looking that direction, it didn't do what it would have done. By the way, Donald Trump has a tendency of looking to the right when he speaks to people for whatever reason. A lot of you might have noticed that. Even the microphone shows some sort of bias that way. If anybody knows why, please tell me, but I honestly don't know why. The shooter is 100 yards or more to his right on a building adjacent to the property. This is the scene as we see it, and this is the frame we got. Now, very likely he's looking towards us this direction, but I can't confirm that. I don't know. This is the setup they were setting up, and as you can see, everything back there is filled in. So this is probably the audience he was addressing and looking forward to. That's probably the stage that they set up. It's pretty obvious that's the most likely outcome here. And he was probably standing right there. And as you can see, he has a bunch of people behind him, but that could be the camera angle. Obviously, probably is. But they were probably back there, so he's right here. Now you can see background here, we can see barns. There are at least two of them. And you can see some of the telephone poles. Now we're going to go forward to an overhead map. Those are the barns. This is the location, according to Wikipedia, he was standing at, which makes a great deal of sense. This is an area that is normally relatively easy to control. You would put a bunch of Secret Service agents along the border to the property, have them act as an optical fence or as a viewer fence or a surveillance fence. Now, let's assume for a second that I got all that wrong, and it was hundreds of yards away from here, and somehow he was looking south. Let's just do that just to get that done. By the way, there are some light sources there. I'm going to go back up because you can kind of see some stuff, but we don't get enough detail to really get the orientation right. I'm very sure that it came from over here. There are two building sources we're going to look at in a minute, but it could have also been over here. The angle he's looking at strongly suggests he was looking towards this direction for whatever reason. I don't know why, but virtually every one of the videos you see of him doing a rally, I don't know why, but I've noticed it in the past, he keeps looking to the right most of the time. He'll also look to the left, but he tends to look left and right a lot. Now that puts it at a direct angle this way. Now, the thing is, this was supposed to have been an area outside of the control of the U.S. Secret Service, outside of the property. They didn't have to filter anything. And here are a bunch of rooftops. This over here, that's a little bit of a long shot over a road and over a crowd. If someone wanted to remove someone who was at the head of a crowd, over here would be one option. Over here is actually controlled under the farm show area and would have been taken over by the U.S. Secret Service for virtually all of this. They have an airport. This whole area is very controllable. But sadly, there are uncontrolled areas over here too. So I'm going to say this on a hypothetical basis. If I was planning out a game engine map build, and I wanted to have a Agent 47 incident, and I was picking a spot, this would be it. Now I'm going to show you some street level views of it. I'm just going to get up all of these street level views if it comes up. We'll just start out here, right here in the parking lot here. Let's just do this front area, just the front area. Okay, now, first of all, can we rotate the camera and see easily from here the problem with not wanting to have, I would not put a bandstand over here with a contentious presidential candidate, either of them right now, out there. That is too easy. That could have been done very easily from a car, okay? So let's get that out of the way. I would not do this rally. But then again, I didn't make the decision. Next, I want to point out one of the security problems I introduce to people if they run a business and they're afraid of having someone break into their building and steal stuff is never put a dumpster next to the edge of a building, unless you're going to put a false roof over it to keep them from doing it. That distance there is easily jumped up on. Flat roofs, if you're not aware of it, are extremely easy places to hide things, including sitting there overnight. Just saying. Okay? Let's get over here in the rest of the parking lot here and see if there's any very obvious hop-ups. And warning, if you have a house or a property, don't put outbuildings and Connex connectors, containers, and heat exchangers next to the building and not have a way to wall them in. You wall them in every time. Again. The thing I would have seen if I saw this, if I was in Google Street View, is it's not how am I going to get up, it's I have too many to pick from, which am I choosing? Now let's say it was this building over here. This would be, I would call a side shot, but again, he was looking that way. The fact that it nicked his ear, I'm saying it had to be probably on top of one of these buildings. The easiest thing would be to have enough cover to not be seen and make it to where you're not visible from a helicopter. Doing it quickly right before you were going to do something, or laying there overnight under a sheet painted like the roof. Anything could be done. Let's turn around. Let's see if I have an wrong wording, an easy view of the barns. Again, a person could have done this from a vehicle and drove off. Let's look to see if there are any obvious hop-ups. That's pretty close, but not quite. Oh, look. A metal canister with a rail to hop up on. Okay, let's look for something so mind-buggeringly easy for a pathway that I don't understand how this is ever done. Again, we have dumpsters. That just makes it too easy. Let's get over here. A little further. Turn around. The only thing worse than dumpsters is having basically a ladder made out of electrical components and parts, or you could just park your car here in the striped area where you're not supposed to, get on the roof, and have access to 100% of the building area. The entire complex, if you want to call it that, was easily accessible from bordering on just hopping up high off the ground. From the angle he was looking, and from what I could see of his face, and the likelihood of them making a right angle here, from there, I'm suspicious that it happened from behind this roof on top of this one. This would give them visual cover because this one is a little bit shorter than this one, and my presumption is that he got onto it from putting his car next to here and just jumping on the roof and getting on here, and he or she, and whoever the shooter was, could have had help or could have done it by themselves. I rate this as a difficulty level for a person doing it singularly as nearly 0. This area should have been cordoned off by the U.S. Secret Service and should have had, actually, the U.S. Secret Service should have placed their own people on the roof with their own rifles. The angle is too acute, especially when he's turning his head and it only hitting his ear, and it very likely coming from that angle because that's the only thing we've been told. It probably came in almost in a straight line from this, and my suspicion is from here. If it had come in at a much more extreme angle, it would have actually gone into a different outcome. I'm going to say, if I'm going to place a bet on the easiest shot angle, it's this roof here, laying on here, on this side of it, peeking over it, and getting on there by just literally jumping on the roof back here and then getting up here. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of preventative anything in here that would block a person from being able to do that at all. I'm not seeing it being difficult. This would have been easily carried out by one, maybe two people, but one person is easy. And never blame two when you can blame one, because a secret's easier to keep if there's no one else to keep it with. And yeah, I'm sorry, but that hop up there, too easy, and this hop up way over here from a car, way too easy. Okay, that's about it. That's all I have, if anything. I do not like that this happened. Would I have cried if this horrible person had succeeded? No. I don't like Trump. But the U.S. Secret Service should have looked for any angle that is visible from the bandstand and simply went to that building and sat on it, eating a sandwich and holding a rifle. Period. And it was probably done from a roof. But again, what's stated is from a building or on a building, probably the roof. But the funny thing is, it could have been done from a window at that point. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And yeah, that's what happened today. Bye.